Welcome back, y'all. We went from crazy piss-drinking people to nuts that bust nuts on their car to women with bad breast implant addiction to what now? This is Insanity Check, by the way. The Skilla Sauce, that's Ken.
And just want to say we want to thank Green Planet Live for your support. Hope you will be supporting the show for months and years to come. We'll be here because we Green Planet stuff.
Exactly, yes. All the time. This is, well,
let me start by saying that you maybe, we hopefully will be in a much higher definition now, so you can see we're not like 12 years old as we kind of looked on our other shows.
Yeah.
But I have no children.
Neither do I.
Skilla Sauce has no children. Our families of, why you don't have any kids, and blah, 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 blah. When we've always told them, at least I know I've told, when my sister-in-law first had my brother's first child, and she asked me when I was going to give my niece a cousin, my first question was, how much you going to have on these diapers? Kids cost. No one seems to care about that. My aunts are like, I'm telling my aunt, like, I can't afford children.
I mean,
just have them and then deal with it later.
Or the big thing, people that says, well, don't worry, God will provide a way. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not sure if, unless I have, Christ himself at the checkout counter, I'm not going to take that chance. Hey, God, what you got on my Similac? That doesn't work for me. I think when you set out to have children that are obviously not accidents, you should have a definitive plan, and it shouldn't be a plan that's right to the edge. You should have like a buffer. You should have enough resources or infrastructure within the family, what have you, families, to make sure that in case of hard times, injury, medical, all of this stuff, you should have some form of insulation. And I think people, the beauty of having children, and I'm amazed by the whole thing. I mean, I think it's one of the most amazing, beautiful things in the world, and I do want children. But I'm just not going to do it in a situation or circumstance where I feel that I won't be able to provide properly within the family or for the child. I'm just not going to do it.
And to add on to that, I'm not going to do it if it means that I have to scrub toilets or kiss the ass of a multitude of people who are dumber than me, more worthless than I am, just so I can feed my child. Because it's something that I would do because I have to do because it's my child.
I mean, and make no mistake, if it so happened that I had a child, I would do anything. I mean, literally, I would do anything to make sure that child, because I always say children don't ask for anything; they demand it. By virtue of their inability to provide for themselves, they demand food, they demand shelter, they demand, Pampers, they demand everything. And if you're not up to the challenge of providing and dealing with that demand, then you shouldn't do it. And I know it. I'll do anything. I mean, I'll even break the law. I'll do anything.
And now anything has surged 8% higher, according to a recent government report. The cost of raising a child from birth to 17 has surged 25% over the last 10 years.
Ooh, these numbers are rough.
Yeah, so basically, if your child was born in 2010, you can expect to spend roughly $227,000
for food, shelter, and other expenses.
Yeah. And
$287,000 when you factor in projected inflation.
Yeah. So this, of course,
Oh, wait, and make sure. The next line is very important. And no, the bill does not include the cost of college or anything related to pregnancy and delivery.
Okay. Well, look at that.
No.
So unless you will do it the way Christ did it in a dirty barn, you're going to be spending even more money to have these kids. Which, of course, again, boggles my mind how people live. I'm talking about the ghetto folks. I'm talking about the people in the projects who have like 5, 6, 7 kids, screaming. While they're screaming at them, cursing, they're screaming back at them, trying to form curses, but of course they can't speak yet. And how do these people do it? I don't understand. I mean, we all know, but for the love of God, this is again, if you're going to do it, try.
Yeah, I mean,
and do it right.
Yeah, there's no formula, there's no instructions. Everyone knows this, but I think that's why that term is coined, planned parenting. So you would hope to have, now it's said obviously things happen, humans get together, things happen, but I for one feel that, at least from my position, I would want to have some semblance of a plan and hope that I can adhere to that plan. But how these people manage to do, this is $287,000.
But check out the line though. The man says, if you sat down to tally up the cost of having children, you'd never have them. Hey.
And that's the problem with being a logical person,
and smart, because people are mostly stupid.
People can't think beyond
2 days from now,
beyond the courtship. It's the same as like in so many situations. I think there are a lot of people that oh, what a wonderful bundle of joy, as if that's an isolated thing. That bundle of joy is not connected to your finances, not connected to anything. It's just a bundle of joy. And if it were a situation where a stork brought a bundle of joy that somehow had a free pass at life with food and everything else, I think everyone would have a child.
Of course,
quickly. But if you stop to think, because I've actually heard women say things that they would first of all, I've never heard of a woman say, I wish I did not have my child. I've never heard them say it like that, but I have heard, in their voice that they were like, they could acknowledge that, damn, life is much harder now because, I have, 2 or 3 kids, and, because a lot of them, they still wanted to do other things, and you realize you now become a servant to those children. Your life and your, desires to go hang out and whatever you did prior to having those children, you should not do unless you're either rich, which we're not talking about, or irresponsible.
Which there are plenty of those.
That still think you can go up in the club and throw the kid at your grandma, let grandma, hold the kids while you go out and socialize. And so, that's when we talk about this stuff, we're talking about, just people factoring in, like you said, the total cost of this, which sadly people just do not do. But this, I just found these numbers alarming, because I remember, back when we were younger, it was something like 100,000, right? It's like 100,000 when we were like getting, to our mature stages to where we would even consider having children. It was like $100,000, and we were like, wow, that's a lot of money. And you're talking about almost, a $250,000.
Yeah, I mean, if we had kids, we wouldn't be able to sit here and with the smiles on our faces doing insanity.
Oh, no, yes, even though the kid would be there duct taped.
Actually, you probably haven't running the boards for us.
Shit.
But
it's a straight up diss.
That wasn't a diss.
What are you trying to say? A kid can rattle the boards?
Nah, you got to keep the money in the family, man. That's what I'm trying to say.
Damn.
But again, since money is the issue, you'd be surprised what people are doing these days.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of. See that, and I told you, I knew that this was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
I knew that this was going to happen, and people were going to become desperate.
It's not even a financial issue. That's of essence here to me, anyway. But anyway, this is a story about a woman, a local lady here, who just got out of jail, because she's trying to double up on her services, and the pigs didn't appreciate it. So you watch this and you tell me if this woman she should have any issues at all with the police.
Why should I get arrested for prostitution if I'm going to show my cleavage in a bikini and sell hot dogs?
45-year-old Catherine Scalia was all smiles when she spoke to us right after she was released from Nassau County Jail. Scalia yelled and made obscene gestures to cameras as she walked out.
See that? Sexy, and I know it.
Earlier, Scalia pleaded guilty to prostitution charges and was sentenced to 7 days behind bars. She was also ordered to complete a psychiatric evaluation.
I'm not pleading guilty to prostitution. I'm pleading guilty to being a stripper. A stripper and a prostitute are 2 different things.
The penal law says that prostitution, you're making an offer of sexual conduct or sexual acts in exchange for currency. And that's the charge here, and that's what she pled guilty to, as a matter of fact.
Authorities say Scalia sold hot dogs out of this trailer and offered sex acts to customers on the side at her East Rockaway home.
I gave my business card to an undercover officer. He called me up. I said, I either come to your house or you come to mine. He came to mine. I started doing my strip. The next thing you know, the cuffs were on me. I was being charged with prostitution.
As it turns out, Scalia was also arrested on prostitution charges 8 years ago. Still, she says she plans to keep selling hot dogs and stripping.
Come to the hot dog truck tomorrow. I'll have a bikini top on. I'll have a nice hot pink one on. I'll put my little bikini on, and we'll take pictures in the hot dog truck.
Oh yeah, I'm down with you.
Nah, you know,
I'm gonna give you a plug nickel. I'll buy you hot dogs before I take the strip.
Nah,
but
she's an entrepreneur, and she's got to do what she's got to do in this society. But I think, you know, first of all, you know, she had been busted for prostitution before. They said
but see now look.
But this wasn't prostitution, like she said.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know that prostitution involved things, just offering things of a sexual nature. So just popping my sack out. You know, I guess because, you know, I guess it was supposedly understood that she was being solicited for that, and I guess maybe if she didn't say, "Hey, this is just a strip show," you know, maybe somehow they trumped up on that. That's not the way I got it. She got arrested for stripping, which is bullshit. Yeah. Being arrested for prostitution is bullshit in of itself, but just stripping, big deal. But look, so what?
You trying to say there's a problem just because she sells Franks, she can't handle Franks?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, like, my main thing is
maybe she put some spicy mustard on this shit. And
no, that's what I was gonna say. How is she giving people the mustard? I mean, she's squeezing that mustard between her jugs onto your buns. Well, I'm like, how does this whole thing
might be
work?
Worth, $50.
I mean, these saggy old flat hot water bottles can't do much of nothing.
Oh,
I mean,
sure, they're malleable. She could probably take off a lug nut with those shit.
She's not attractive. See, that's the main problem. She was kind of dope looking, but I mean, she's had 4
Well, maybe
kids.
That's why she had to go to the hot dogs. Yeah. You know, and
she's
value.
selling it out of like a caravan. She's not even. Yeah. She doesn't even have like a regular. I mean, well, look.
Well, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Through his stomach, or what? Dropping a Frank down his drawers. Right?
Yeah, let me get that for you. She probably used the tongs. She stuck some tongs.
Tongs with the plastic gloves, right? The disposable plastic gloves.
But you know, this is just. Just leave people alone, man. The woman's not hurting anyone.
No, she's not. And apparently people are coming, you know. Yeah, they coming. They boom bop. You're slow on the rim kit there. But come on.
That's because there's no rim kit here.
Oh damn! Yeah, we gotta get one of those. But
this is new age, man.
Listen, if her patrons, you know, or the people that, you know, want to buy her hot dogs or want to see her shake these flapping sacks in their face, have no issues with it, then why should anyone else? And now, and from what I understand, she pickles her dogs.
Yes, she pickles
pickles her dogs.
Herself.
I mean, so she has.
So this is quality home service.
She has some pride in her hot dogs, and I love hot dogs.
Clearly, by the wrinkles in her cleavage, she's old school.
Yeah, she's
so she makes this shit herself. Yeah. She you know. She's probably an old school burlesque show. She probably got feathers and all of that good shit, which she probably doesn't have next to the hot dogs because that would be unnecessary.
Yeah, exactly. And she's doing her thing. But the funny thing, well, no, not the real funny thing, is that, you know, the fact that she combined, you know, the food business and the sex business, you know, is just showing that people are having to become more creative with trying to make a buck.
Sure.
I mean, seriously, they got. I mean, the economy is driving people to where you have these crazy comedy. I mean, because I would never think of a hot dog / prostitute seller and vendor. You know,
aside for the phallic connection.
I mean, well, obviously the comedic purposes. You know, her gripping the hot dog mad slow while she's jingling the sacks. You know, that's all well and good. And, you know, but she had to come up with the foresight of thinking, oh, wait a second, when I'm serving the people, I got to bend over out of the truck. Yeah. So why not jangle the titties? So I understand that, but still, you're going to see more and more of this. You're going to see crazy combinations of people doing mad stuff.
Well, all I know is that, you know, leave these people alone. They're doing a.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what other kind of, what else can people be, you know, string together. You know, it's just crazy.
Well, I'm sure, like you said, we'll be finding out.
We'll be finding out because of the counter. As I said, this is the part, like, you know, Insanity Check is all about, you know, trying to turn humor, and there's a hell of a lot of humor here. But the reasons and why this mother of 4,
the underlying grim issues,
a mother of 4 has to, you know, resort to something like this. And I know people want to say, oh, well, there's always other options, you know. Trying to provide for your kids while you're working at Subways, it's not feasible. The jobs that are being created here are not sustainable jobs. They're fucking fast food jobs. Fast food jobs are for teenagers. Fast food jobs cannot pay legitimate rent, cannot feed children, can't do shit. Yet those are the kind of jobs that are being created to bolster these bogus ass numbers. So now you have situations like this. That's the serious part of this.
And I have to do my job and tell you that we have to take a break.
Yep.
And we will be back in 2.
Yeah.